Jeff Leroux is P4. Leon van Linden in Kemmel Straight is 13th. Best lap is a 2:31.356. Jeff Leroux from South Africa in Stavelo is P4. The qualification session is at Spa-Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. The wind speed is 5 km/h from the north-northeast. Janine Glad from South Africa is first. Janine Glad in La Source is first. Janine Glad is up 4.67 in Radion. Janine Glad is up 4.99 in Malmedy. The qualifying session is now in overtime. 5 minutes remaining in the session. The race session is at Spa-Francorchamps in Francorchamps, Belgium. The wind speed is 3 km/h from the northeast. "55 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Brendan Gryasel is third. Yuan Nyeman from South Africa in La Source is seventh. Tommy Glad from South Africa is P10. Leon van Linden from South Africa is 12. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa in Kemmel Straight is P6. Jeff Eliru from South Africa in Malmedy is P9. Tommy Glad in Brussels is P10. Leon van Linden is P11. Blake Kruger from South Africa in Puhan is 12, 0.5 behind Leon van Linden. Gerhard Nyeman from South Africa in Campus is P4, 0.4 behind Brendan Gryasel. South Africa in Corby Palfrere is 5th, 0.3 behind Gerhard Nyeman. Peter Geldenhuis in Corby Palfrere is 6th, 0.2 behind Peter Grobler. Yuan Nyeman in Blanchimont is P7, 0.4 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Blake Kruger in Blanchimont is 11th, 0.2 behind Jeff Eliru. Blake Kruger passed Jeff Ellie Roux for 10. Blake Kruger lost 10th to Jeff Ellie Roux. Leon van Linden is P12. Blake Kruger is 12, 0.1 behind Leon van Linden. Blake Kruger is now 11th. Mike McKeer from South Africa is P4. Peter Grobler in Kemmel Straight is P5, 0.4 behind Mike McKeer. Leon van Linden in Lacombe is P11, 0.1 behind Blake Kruger. Peter Grobler in Brussels is P5, 0.2 behind Gerhard Niemand. 50 minutes remaining in the session. Mike McKeer in Pohang is third. Peter Grobler in Campus on lap 2 is P5, 0.2 behind Gerhard Niemand. Mike McKeer in Corby Palfrere is P3, 0.4 behind Brendan Gryasel. Peter Grobler in Blanchimont is 5th, 0.2 behind Gerhard Niemand. Peter Geldenhuis in Bus Stop Chicane is 6th, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. Johan Niemand in La Source is 8th, 0.5 behind Ernest Heather. Ernest Heather from South Africa in Kemmel Straight is P8. Peter Grobler in Malmedy is P5, 0.5 behind Gerhard Niemand. Mike McKeer is third, 0.4 behind Brendan Gryasel. Brendan Gryasel was 0.6 faster last lap. Peter Grobler in Pohang is P6, 0.1 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike McKeer in Corby Palfrere on lap 3 is P3, 0.8 behind Brendan Gryasel. Peter Grobler in Blanchimont is P6. Niemand in La Source is P4, 0.4 behind Mike McGear. Peter Grobler is P6, 0.4 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Geldenhuis was 1.0 faster last lap. Leon van Linden entering the pits is P12. Blake Kruger from South Africa in Kemmel Straight is P11, 0.6 behind Tommy Glad. Blake Kruger was 2.5 faster last lap. Gerhard Niemand is 4th, 0.5 behind Mike McGear. Gerhard Niemand passed Mike McGear for P3. 45 minutes remaining in the session. Peter Grobler in Puhan is P6, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike McGear in Corby Palfrere is P4, 0.7 behind Gerhard Niemand. Leon van Linden exiting pits. Janine Glad from South Africa is P11, 0.7 behind Blake Kruger. Mike McGear in Kemmel Straight is P4, 0.8 behind Gerhard Niemand. Peter Grobler in Brussels is 6th, 0.7 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike McGear in Fania is P4, 0.5 behind Gerhard Niemand. Peter Grobler is P6, 0.9 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Geldenhuis is P5, 0.5 behind Mike McGear. Peter Grobler in Radion is 6th, 1.0 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Geldenhuis in Lacombe is P5, 0.4 behind Mike McGeer. Mike McGeer in Brussels is P5. Best lap is a 2:24.784. 2.154 off the fastest lap. Peter Grobler is 6th, 0.4 behind Mike McGeer. Minutes remaining in the session. Mike McGeer from South Africa in campus is P5, 0.5 ahead of Peter Grobler. Peter Geldenhuis in Blanchimont is P4, 0.5 behind Gerhard Niemand. Peter Grobler is 6th. Peter Geldenhuis is 4th. Best lap is a 2:23.687. 1.057 off the fastest lap. Peter Grobler in Radion is 6th, 0.2 behind Mike McGeer. Peter Geldenhuis in Lacombe is 4th, 0.4 behind Gerhard Niemand. Peter Grobler in Rivage is 6th, 0.3 behind Mike McGeer. Peter Grobler was 1.1 faster last lap. Peter Geldenhuis is P4, 0.4 behind Gerhard Niemand. Peter Grobler is P6, 0.3 behind Mike McGeer. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa is 4th, 0.4 behind Gerhard Niemand. Mike McGeer on lap 7 is 5th, 0.3 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Geldenhuis was 1.5 faster last lap. Peter Geldenhuis in bus stop chicane is P4, 0.3 behind Gerhard Niemand. Peter Geldenhuis was 0.7 faster last lap. Mike McGeer on lap 8 is 5th, 0.1 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler is P6, 0.5 behind Mike McGeer. Johan Niemand is P8, 0.4 behind Ernest Heather. Ernest Heather in Kemmel Straight is 8th. Mike McGeer in Brussels is 6th, 0.3 behind Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler in Pohon is P5, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike McGeer in Fania is 6th, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. 35 minutes remaining in the session. Peter Grobler in Stavelo is P5, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler was 0.6 faster last lap. Peter Geldenhuis is P4. Peter Geldenhuis is now 3rd. Peter Grobler is 4th, 0.4 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike McGeer in Kemmel Straight is 5th, 0.8 behind Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler was 1.6 faster last lap. Peter Grobler in Brussels is 4th, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Janine Glad in La Source is 11th. Peter Grobler in Stavelo is P4, 0.3 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike McGeer in Blanchimont is P5, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. Blake Kruger is P9. Ernest Heather is 9th, 0.1 behind Blake Kruger. Mike McGeer in Brussels is 5th, 1.2 behind Peter Grobler. Tommy Glad entering the pits is 10th. Tommy Glad exiting pits. Peter Grobler in Fania is 4th, 0.9 ahead of Mike McGeer. "30 minutes remaining in the session. Gerhard Niemand in Campus is 7th, 0.8 behind Yuan Niemand. Mike McGeer on lap 10 is P5, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. Gerhard Niemand in La Source is P7, 1.0 behind Yuan Niemand. Mike McGeer in Rivage is 4th, 1.1 behind Peter Grobler. Yuan Niemand in Malmedy is 7th, 0.3 behind Gerhard Niemand. Peter Grobler is P4, 0.2 behind Mike McGeer. Tommy Glad entering the pits is P11. Yuan Niemand is 8th, 0.4 behind Ernest Heather. Danny Van Ruyen entering the pits is P1. Danny Van Ruyen is 1st. Brendan Gryasel from South Africa is 2nd. Brendan Gryasel passed Danny Van Ruyen for 1st. Tommy Glad exiting pits. Danny Van Ruyen from Netherlands is 5th. Danny Van Ruyen exiting pits. Blake Kruger entering the pits is 8th. Blake Kruger is P8. Peter Grobler in Rivage is P3, 0.4 behind Mike McGeer. Blake Kruger is P9. Blake Kruger exiting pits. Janine Glad entering the pits is P10. Peter Grobler from South Africa in Corby Palfrere is third, 0.6 behind Mike McGeer. 25 minutes remaining in the session. Mike McGeer entering the pits is second. Mike McGeer is P2. Peter Grobler entering the pits is third. Peter Geldenhuis entering the pits is P4. Janine Glad exiting pits. Tommy Glad in La Source is P11, 2.7 behind Janine Glad. Leon van Linden entering the pits is P12. Peter Grobler is 6th. Yuan Niemand entering the pits is 7th. Mike McGeer exiting pits. Leon van Linden exiting pits. Peter Grobler exiting pits. Peter Geldenhuis exiting pits. Peter Grobler is now P5. Yuan Niemand is 7th. Danny Van Ruyen is second. Ernest Heather entering the pits is P8. Blake Kruger entering the pits is 9th. Blake Kruger is P9. Yuan Niemand exiting pits. In Rivage is P6, 3.4 behind Peter Grobler. Ernest Heather exiting pits. Peter Grobler in Puhan is 5th, 0.5 behind Mike McGeer. Blake Kruger exiting pits. Danny Van Ruyen in bus stop chicane on lap 13 is P2. Gerhard Niemand entering the pits is P3. Tommy Glad entering the pits is 11th. Gerhard Niemand is P3. Danny Van Ruyen is second. Leon van Linden entering the pits is 12th. Tommy Glad exiting pits. Gerhard Niemand from South Africa is P6. Gerhard Niemand exiting pits. Peter Grobler in Kemmel Straight is 4th, 0.5 behind Mike McGeer. Leon van Linden exiting pits. Yuan Niemand entering the pits is P7. Yuan Niemand is 7th. Peter Grobler on lap 14 is 4th, 0.2 behind Mike McGear. Yuan Niemand exiting pits. "20 minutes remaining in the session. Yuan Niemand is 8th, 1.2 behind Ernest Heather. Peter Grobler in Corby Palfrère is 4th, 0.2 behind Mike McGear. Yuan Niemand is P8, 0.8 behind Ernest Heather. Mike McGear is P4. Best lap is a 2:24.516. 2.545 off the fastest lap. Yuan Niemand in Blanchimont is 8th, 1.1 behind Ernest Heather. Peter Geldenhuis in Puhan is P5, 2.1 behind Mike McGear. Brendan Gryasel entering the pits is 1st. Brendan Gryasel is P1. Gerhard Niemand in Campus is P6. Brendan Gryasel on lap 16 is P2. Brendan Gryasel exiting pits. Yuan Niemand in Campus is 8th, 0.7 behind Ernest Heather. Tommy Glad in Malmedy on lap 15 is P11. Yuan Niemand is P8, 0.6 behind Ernest Heather. Ernest Heather was 6.2 faster last lap. Ernest Heather in Eau Rouge is 8th. Best lap is a 2:26.233. 4.262 off the fastest lap. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Brendan Gryasel in bus stop chicane is P2. Janine Glad on lap 16 is 11th, 0.3 behind Tommy Glad. Brendan Gryasel in Lacombe is P2, 5.0 ahead of Peter Grobler. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa in Rivage is 5th, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. Gerhard Niemand is P6. Peter Geldenhuis in Corby Palfrère is P5, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. Ernest Heather is 7th. Peter Geldenhuis on lap 18 is 5th, 0.4 behind Peter Grobler. Peter Geldenhuis was 4.8 faster last lap. Yuan Niemand in Campus on lap 17 is 9th, 4.7 behind Blake Kruger. Peter Geldenhuis is 5th. Best lap is a 2:23.661. 1.690 off the fastest lap. Blake Kruger entering the pits is 8th. Blake Kruger is P8. Blake Kruger exiting pits. Blake Kruger lost 8th to Yuan Niemand. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Peter Geldenhuis is 5th, 1.0 behind Peter Grobler. Yuan Niemand in Rivage is P8, 3.9 ahead of Blake Kruger. Tommy Glad entering the pits is P10. Gerhard Niemand is 6th. Tommy Glad exiting pits. Yuan Niemand in Corby Palfrère is 8th, 3.1 ahead of Blake Kruger. Yuan Niemand was 2.4 faster last lap. Brendan Gryasel in Stavelo is P2. Blake Kruger is 9th, 3.0 behind Yuan Niemand. Danny Van Ruyen in Lacombe is 1st. Tommy Glad is P11. Danny Van Ruyen is 1st. Gerhard Niemand in Pohon is 6th. Five minutes remaining in the session. Blake Kruger in Kemmel Straight is 8th. Best lap is a 2:24.276. 2.305 off the fastest lap. Brendan Gryasel is 2nd. Best lap is a 2:23.909. 1.938 off the fastest lap. Janine Glad in La Source is 10th. Yuan Niemand in Blanchimont is 8th, 3.6 ahead of Blake Kruger. Tommy Glad in Rivage is P11. Peter Grobler in Bus Stop Chicane is P5. Brendan Gryasel in Kemmel Straight is P2. Peter Grobler in Lacombe on lap 22 is P5, 0.7 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Yuan Niemand in Blanchimont on lap 21 is 8th, 4.2 ahead of Blake Kruger. Yuan Niemand was 10.0 faster last lap. Peter Grobler in Stavelo is P5, 0.7 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike McDeer is third, 4.1 ahead of Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler in Radion is 5th, 0.9 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Tommy Glad entering the pits is 11th. Gerhard Niemann from South Africa in Kemmel Straight is 6th. Peter Grobler in Pohan is P5, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Tommy Glad exiting pits. Peter Geldenhuis in Stavelo is P4, 0.8 ahead of Peter Grobler. Bus stop chicane is 5th, 0.9 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Ernest Heather in Pohan is P7. Peter Grobler in Rivage is P5, 0.9 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Ernest Heather in bus stop chicane is 7th. The leader has just finished the race. Danny Van Ruyen finished P1. Blake Kruger finished 9th. Brendan Gryasel finished second. Mike McGeer finished third. Peter Gelden was finished P4. Peter Grobler finished fifth. Gerhard Niemand is P6. Gerhard Niemand finished sixth. Janine Glad is P10. Janine Glad finished P10. Tommy Glad finished P11.